Hey everybody, this is a review of the Razer phone. I'm gonna make this short and quick because I'm late on this phone. There are already a lot of tech sites and much bigger YouTubers than myself that have already reviewed the phone. So I feel like there's not much more for me to add. Like if you're like someone who might be interested in this phone, you probably already read like 6 reviews and saw like 18 videos. So this is just something I'm doing for to add to my library of reviews, I guess. So 3 things about the Razer phone that makes it worth purchasing or worth considering. The first, it's 120 hertz refresh rate. So now if you don't know what a refresh rate is, it's how often the screen, a display refreshes itself in 1 second. So this phone refreshes at 120 frames per second. Most other smartphones right now, from the Galaxy Note 8 to the LG V30 to even the iPhone 10, refreshes at 60 hertz per second. So that means the Razer phone moves at double speed. It has 2 times the animation as the Galaxy Note 8 at any given time. And this makes a difference not just in gaming, which is what this phone is made for, but also just day-to-day use of the phone. Stuff like scrolling through your app tray or scrolling through a website, it's noticeably more smoother on the Razer phone than on the Galaxy Note 8 or the iPhone 10. It's just a level of fluidity that I've never seen before. And to be honest, it's something that once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. And if you haven't seen it, you don't really notice it. So the Galaxy Note 8, by all measures, it's an excellent phone. When I used this phone before I touched the Razer, I didn't have any problems with how the phone scrolled. I thought the phone was smooth enough because I have Nova Launcher on it. But then, after I've seen the Razer phone, after I've seen how animation looks on this, then all of a sudden, going back to the Galaxy Note 8, I'm noticing, okay, the animation's a little bit choppier. It's not as smooth, it's not as fluid. It's like a little bit slower. And obviously, gaming, you're gonna notice it too. It's right now, not all games support 120 hertz refresh rate, but the ones that do, such as Breakneck, look amazing. I mean, look at this video right now of me playing Breakneck on the Razer phone. So now you're moving at full speed, and the animation looks amazing. Now watch, I'm gonna slow down the video right here to 30% speed. So this is 30% speed. Notice the video, it's still not that choppy. Like, pay attention to the floor. The floor is still flying underneath my bike, car, whatever the heck it is. Still very smoothly, right? Now look at the exact same game on the Galaxy Note 8. When it's real time, even in real time, you notice that it's a little bit choppier than on the Razer phone. But if you slow down the video to 30%, now look at it. Now it looks a lot choppier, right? Like pay attention to the floor. It doesn't flow as smooth. The same thing happens on the iPhone 10. Play the same game. In real time, it's okay. But then you slow down to 30%, doesn't look as good as the Razer phone. So this is a big game changer in terms, if you care about gaming, if you have really good eyesight and you just notice these things. Even stuff like Instagram, like when I'm scrolling through stuff or backing out of a story, like the way the story bounces back into this little slot here just looks smoother than anything I've seen before. It's really crazy. So that's the first thing. The second thing I like about this phone, every journalist, every reviewer has already mentioned it, the speakers. These are, I'll just be blunt, straightforward, these are the best sounding speakers in the history of smartphones. So right now this is at like 40% volume. You already hear more bass than you normally would. It's loud. When you get up to 100%, there is no distortion. If anything, 100% is actually like too loud for me. I find that I can't really go play videos or games at 100% volume just because it's so loud. So now let's check out something with bass. So you hear more bass than usual. This is about 70% volume, I want to say. So this is just an excellent speaker, the best speaker of any smartphone. This phone doesn't have a headphone jack, so you might want to just use a speaker mostly, but if you do want to use headphones, Razer includes a dongle, a USB-C to headphone jack dongle with a hi-fi jack inside. So when you're listening to music with headphones on, you're going to get better sound than on other phones too, maybe other than the LG V30. So just the smoothness of the phone, it's awesome. That's the one thing. The audio, second thing. The third thing I love about the Razer phone that I wish other phones would do software. Now this phone only runs Android 7.1.1, so it's not the newest Android, but it has Nova Launcher Prime. I think Nova Launcher is the best software skin available, and I use it on every phone. So you can do a lot of things like double tap on the screen to lock the phone. That's awesome. And you can set up a lot of gestures and shortcuts, such as, for example, right now I have swipe down to bring on notification shade. If I want, I can set swipe up to open an app. Like I can have swipe up to open the camera or Facebook or something. And then you can do other things like just a bunch of stuff you can do in Nova Launcher. I change how the icons look and all that. So I wish other phones like Samsung stop with its own tacky software. Just give me Nova Launcher, man. I mean, I put Nova Launcher on every phone I use anyway. So these are the three things that make the Razer phone stand out. Otherwise, it's a decent to good phones, but it's not that amazing in other areas. So you have to design, obviously. This is a little bit chunky, a little bit bulky. I understand that the bezels are necessary for the speakers, but otherwise, this phone just doesn't feel as sleek or cool looking as like the LG V30. And then you have the camera. The camera, other reviewers have pointed out it's not good, and I must say it really isn't that good. So let's look at some photo samples really quick. So this shot here, it might look cool to have that much contrast, but the dynamic range is actually pretty poor because you can't see anything down this tunnel right here. And then this shot, the flower here, it's a little bit muted. I think when you take this same picture of the Samsung Galaxy phones, you get a little bit more bang. Same thing right here. This picture is like a little bit flat. The camera focus is okay. You do get pretty good details though, so it's not a terrible camera, but I'm just saying this is a flagship phone, so if you compare it to the iPhone 10, Huawei Mate 10 Pro, or Samsung Galaxy Note 8, it's going to lose out. The camera app is also very bare bones, so you have a shutter button right here, you swipe to the right for video, and then that's it. You don't really get manual controls, none of that. You tap on this little tab, all you get is settings. So that's it. There's just a very boring camera app. Battery life is really good. 4,000 milliamp battery, so it's been able to last me all day, even though I played a bit of games on it. I'd say I average about 4.5 hours of screen on time. The display may refresh very fast, but it actually doesn't get that bright, so that's a flaw right there. It's an LCD panel, so you expect it to be a bit brighter, but it's not as bright as the iPhone or the newest LG and Samsung phones. So when I was using this phone outdoors on a really sunny day, I actually had a little bit of problems seeing the screen, even at max brightness. I would also like to complain about the volume buttons here. I know that they put it in the middle so you can easily access it when you're gaming, but having the buttons right next to the power button, I find myself a lot of times when I'm trying to press this button, I'll actually turn off the phone, because I guess when I'm pressing on this, I'm also pressing on this side. Maybe I'm just clumsy. It's something that I have to work on, but it's happened to me quite a few times when I was like, okay, let me lower the volume and end up turning off the phone. The fingerprint reader, it's also on the power button right here, and it's fast and accurate. The fingerprint reader is a bit smaller than our other phones, so sometimes your finger might miss it, but if your finger does hit the right spot, it opens right away. And as I mentioned, the lock screen animation, it's very satisfying, the way it snaps open, and you just see this animation that you don't see in other phones usually. So that's it for my quick review. Actually, it wasn't that quick. It was like 9 minutes long. Sorry. But that's it for my review of the Razer phone. At $700, I think it's worth a purchase if you're heavy into gaming and you really just want something different. I think 120 Hz, it's a game changer. Like, I don't really care about 4K resolutions on smartphones. I don't even need Quad HD, to be honest. 1080p is fine. But what I want, after seeing this, it's 120 Hz refresh rate. I want that on the next Samsung, next LG, next iPhone. I can't go back to 60 after seeing this. This is very, very fluid. Thanks for watching.